Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling something that you might think you've got all figured out already.
Mhm.
Loyalty.
Mhm.
We are diving deep into a 4-H curriculum.
Okay.
And as it turns out, there's a lot more to unpack about this whole idea of a loyal heart
Right.
than you might expect.
It is funny how we often think of loyalty as this like simple,
Yeah.
straightforward thing.
Right.
But the deeper we dig, the more
Yeah.
complex and nuanced it gets.
Exactly. And this 4-H material really surprised me.
Oh yeah.
It goes way beyond just being a good friend or teammate.
Right.
It actually dives into the idea of loyalty to ourselves,
Interest.
which I'm really excited to explore.
Yeah, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's this idea of aligning our actions with our own values and beliefs and goals.
So before we get to that aha moment,
Okay.
let's start with the basics.
Sure.
What does loyalty actually look like in our everyday lives?
Well, the curriculum uses the classic examples. Think of a tight-knit group of friends who always have each other's backs no matter what.
Yeah.
Or a sports team
Mhm.
where every player is fully committed to that shared goal of winning.
Okay, so I can see that, but it's more than just showing up, right?
Right.
I mean, is it about always agreeing or blindly following the leader?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And actually, the source material really pushes back on that idea.
Okay.
True loyalty
Mm.
isn't about blind obedience. It's about building trust.
Okay.
And not just any trust, but specific types of trust that are crucial for any kind of success.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Break it down for me.
Sure.
What are these different types of trust?
Well, think about the trust you need in a teammate versus the trust you need in a close friend.
Okay.
With a teammate, you need to trust their confidence, their ability to do their part.
Yeah.
You also need that emotional trust with a friend, but on a deeper level, right?
Mm,
It's knowing they'll be there for you emotionally, not just to help you move a couch.
that makes total sense. So loyalty is the foundation for building both those types of trust,
Yes.
whether it's in a team, a friendship, or even a family.
Exactly. And the source material goes on to emphasize that loyalty isn't just about warm, fuzzy feelings.
Okay.
It actually has some serious benefits in terms of how we function in the world.
Okay, so we're talking more than just a sense of belonging, right?
More than that,
Give me the concrete stuff.
Yeah.
What's the big deal about loyalty?
it's fascinating how loyalty actually shapes our personal integrity and ethical behavior.
Hmm.
When you're truly loyal to your values,
Yeah.
you're more likely to make choices that align with them, even when it's difficult.
That's interesting, but isn't that just willpower?
Hmm.
Is loyalty really the driving force behind ethical decisions?
Think of it this way. Willpower can be fleeting.
Okay.
It can depend on how much energy you have, how much stress you're under.
Right.
But loyalty is more enduring.
Okay.
It's about having a deep commitment to your values,
Mm.
which makes it easier to make the right choices, even when your willpower is running low.
So it's like loyalty gives you this inner compass
Right.
that keeps you pointed in the right direction,
Yeah,
even when the going gets tough.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the curriculum acknowledges that it's not always easy.
Oh, right.
There are challenges to loyalty in the real world.
Oh, for sure.
We face peer pressure, conflicting loyalties,
Mhm.
and those moments where it's tempting to take the easy way out, even if it means compromising our values.
Oh, for sure. Like what happens when your friend wants to do something you're not comfortable with? Or when you're torn between two commitments that are both important to you?
Yeah,
Those situations can be super stressful.
absolutely. And this is where the 4-H material offers some strategies that I found really helpful.
Okay.
Open communication is key,
Yeah.
but not just in a surface level way.
Okay.
It's about being honest with yourself and others about what you truly value
Mm.
and where your boundaries lie.
Okay, I'm hearing the importance of communication. Yeah.
But honestly, that can be hard.
It is.
It takes courage to stand up for your values,
Yeah.
especially when you risk disappointing someone you care about.
It does take courage.
Yeah.
And this is why the curriculum emphasizes that true loyalty doesn't mean avoiding conflict.
Mhm.
It's about learning how to resolve conflicts constructively,
Okay.
where everyone feels heard and respected.
This is making me realize that I might need to reevaluate some of my relationships through this
Okay.
lens of loyalty.
Hmm.
It's more complex than I thought.
It really is. And there's one more layer to this whole loyalty thing that I
Yeah.
think is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
It's the idea of loyalty to ourselves.
Okay, I am officially intrigued.
Yeah.
I've heard this phrase before, but honestly, it's always felt a bit vague.
Right.
I mean, what does it actually look like to be loyal to ourselves?
It's about making choices that reflect who we are at our core, even when it's hard. It's
Right.
about honoring our values, pursuing our passions.
and setting healthy boundaries that protect our well-being.
So it's more than just self-care.
More than that.
Like bubble baths and face masks are great,
Yes.
but this seems deeper than that.
You're right. It's not just about pampering ourselves.
Yeah.
It's about aligning our actions with our deepest values and beliefs.
Oh.
Think of it as making a commitment to ourselves,
Hmm.
the same way we'd make a commitment to a close friend or partner.
Wow. I'm starting to see how powerful this concept of self-loyalty could be.
Yes.
It's almost like it's the foundation for everything else.
Right.
If we're not loyal to ourselves, how can we truly be loyal to anyone or anything else?
Exactly. And that's what I find so brilliant about this curriculum.
Okay.
It emphasizes that self-loyalty isn't selfish. It's actually essential for showing up authentically in all our relationships.
Okay, I am 100% on board with this idea of self-loyalty, but how do we actually do it?
Yeah.
How do we cultivate this inner loyalty muscle?
The source material is packed with practical tips, and I think some of them might surprise you.
Right.
It all starts with something we often overlook: positive self-talk.
Wait, positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit cheesy?
I know it can sound that way, but hear me out.
Okay.
It's not about repeating affirmations in the mirror.
Right.
It's about becoming aware of our inner critic,
Okay.
that voice that tells us we're not good enough,
Yeah.
and actively challenging those negative thoughts.
Okay, so instead of beating myself up when I make a mistake,
Yes.
I should be treating myself with more compassion and understanding.
Exactly. It's about being our own best friend, offering ourselves the same kindness and support that we would offer to someone we love.
That's such a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
And I can see how that could make a huge difference in how we approach challenges and setbacks.
It does.
Yeah.
And this ties directly into another key element of self-loyalty: setting healthy boundaries.
Okay.
This means learning to say no to things that drain our energy or compromise our values, even if it means disappointing someone.
I can already see this being the hardest part for me.
It is for a lot of people.
I'm such a people pleaser.
Yeah.
It feels selfish to put my needs first.
That's a common struggle. And this is where self-loyalty gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that taking care of ourselves is not selfish. It's actually essential for being able to show up fully for others.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the curriculum emphasizes that setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out. It's about protecting our energy and our well-being so we can be more present and engaged in our relationships.
That makes a lot of sense. So positive self-talk and setting boundaries are two key tools
Yes.
for building self-loyalty. What else can we do to cultivate this inner strength?
One of the most powerful practices is self-awareness.
Okay.
The curriculum encourages us to pay attention to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
Yeah.
By becoming more aware of what's going on inside, we can start to make choices that are more aligned with our authentic selves.
It's like that classic saying, know thyself.
Yes.
The more we understand ourselves, the better equipped we are to stay true to who we are.
Absolutely. And this is an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
It's about continually asking ourselves, what do I value?
Right.
What are my goals? What truly matters to me?
Yeah.
And then using that self-knowledge to guide our actions and decisions.
This is all so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's amazing how this deep dive into loyalty has uncovered so many layers of meaning and application.
It really has, and it's just the beginning.
Wow.
We've only scratched the surface of this idea of self-loyalty,
Okay.
and there's so much more to explore.
I can't wait to dive deeper.
Me too.
And I'm already starting to see how this concept can be truly transformative.
It is.
It's not just about showing up for others,
Right.
but also about showing up for ourselves in a way that fosters growth, integrity, and resilience.
Exactly, and that's what we'll be exploring next.
Oh.
How this concept of self-loyalty can empower us to navigate the complexities of relationships,
Yeah.
both personal and professional.
Okay.
We'll also delve into some practical strategies for putting these ideas into action.
I'm so excited to continue this journey of discovery with you.
Me too.
And listeners, I encourage you to reflect on this idea of self-loyalty. Well, what does it mean to you? What are some small steps you can take today to be more loyal to yourself? We'll be back soon to dive deeper into this fascinating topic.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're continuing our exploration of loyalty, and I'm still buzzing from our last conversation about self-loyalty.
Yeah.
It's like this whole new world has opened up.
It is a fascinating concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it lays the groundwork for understanding how loyalty operates in all areas of our lives, especially in our relationships.
When we talk about loyalty, we often jump to thinking about romantic
Right.
relationships. But this 4-H curriculum actually spends a lot of time exploring loyalty in the context of friendships and teamwork.
That's right. And it makes sense when you think about it. Strong friendships and high-performing teams rely heavily on that bedrock of loyalty.
Okay, so let's break it down. What does loyalty look like within a team setting?
No?
Is it about always agreeing with the leader or never challenging the status quo?
Actually, the curriculum challenges that notion of blind loyalty.
Okay.
It emphasizes that true team loyalty involves constructive dissent.
Constructive dissent.
Yeah.
That sounds almost like a contradiction. How can you disagree and still be loyal?
It's about finding that balance between supporting the team's goals and being able to voice concerns or offer alternative perspectives.
Okay.
It's that trust that allows team members to speak up without fear of retribution.
So it's about creating a safe space where
Yeah.
everyone feels comfortable sharing their ideas,
Right.
even if they're different from the majority opinion.
Exactly. And the source material suggests that this kind of open communication fueled by loyalty is crucial for innovation and problem solving. When team members feel safe to challenge each other's thinking,
Yeah.
they're more likely to come up with creative solutions and avoid groupthink.
That's such a great point. It
Mhm.
makes me think about teams I've been on where there was a lack of trust and open communication.
Right.
It always felt like we were holding back, afraid to rock the boat. And guess what?
Yeah,
We rarely came up with anything groundbreaking.
exactly. It's that sense of psychological safety that loyalty can foster.
Okay.
It's knowing that you can speak your mind without fear of being judged or ridiculed.
Okay, so loyalty is key for building trust and fostering open communication within teams.
Yes.
What about in friendships? How does it play out there?
The curriculum describes friendship loyalty as a commitment to being there for your friends through thick and thin. It's about those deep bonds of connection that are built on shared experiences, mutual respect, and unwavering support.
So it's more than just liking the same things or having fun together.
Right.
It's about showing up for each other when things get tough.
Yeah.
Offering a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, or a helping hand when needed.
Exactly. And this is where that emotional trust we talked about earlier comes into play.
Right.
It's about knowing you can confide in your friends without fear of judgment, knowing they'll have your back, even when you make mistakes.
That kind of deep, unconditional support is so valuable.
It is.
But it's also something that needs to be nurtured, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, friendships can fade over time, especially if there's a lack of effort or a breach of trust.
You're absolutely right. Loyalty isn't a passive thing.
Right.
It requires effort and intentionality.
Okay.
The source material highlights the importance of being present and engaged when your friends are talking to you.
Yeah.
It encourages us to be reliable, to
Yeah.
follow through on our commitments,
Right.
and to be there for our friends when they need us,
Yeah.
even if it's inconvenient.
Those are all such simple things.
They are.
But they make a huge difference. It's easy to get caught up in our own busy lives and forget to make time for the people who matter most.
Yeah, it's easy to do that.
But I think this deep dive is a good reminder that we need to prioritize our friendships and be intentional about nurturing those bonds of loyalty.
And one of the key elements of nurturing those bonds is recognizing that loyalty in friendships is a two-way street.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's about both giving and receiving support, being honest with each other, and working through conflicts in a way that strengthens the relationship rather than breaking it.
That's so important. It can be easy to fall into patterns where one person is always giving and the other is always taking.
Right.
But true loyalty involves reciprocity, a
Yeah.
sense of mutual support and understanding.
Exactly. And it's about communicating your needs and expectations.
Right.
It's okay to ask for what you need from your friends.
Yeah.
And it's equally important to be receptive to their needs and requests.
This reminds me of something we touched on earlier, that self-loyalty is actually crucial for being able to show up authentically in all our relationships.
Yes.
It's like if we're not taking care of ourselves, setting healthy boundaries, and honoring our own needs, how can we possibly be fully present and supportive for our friends?
That's a brilliant connection.
Yeah.
The curriculum doesn't explicitly make that link, but I think it's a crucial insight. Self-loyalty is the foundation for all other forms of loyalty.
Okay, so we've talked about loyalty in friendships and teams, but there's one area we haven't explored yet.
Right.
And it's probably the most complex and challenging of all,
Yeah.
loyalty in romantic relationships.
Yes, the realm of romantic love. It's where loyalty can be tested in all sorts of ways.
I know, right? We've all heard those stories of betrayal and heartbreak.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, what does loyalty look like in a romantic relationship? Is it about exclusivity,
Okay.
unwavering devotion, never having doubts or disagreements?
The curriculum actually offers a really nuanced perspective on romantic loyalty.
Okay.
It doesn't shy away from the challenges,
Right.
but emphasizes that loyalty in this context is about more than just fidelity.
Hmm.
It's about choosing to show up for your partner day after day, even when things are tough.
So it's about making a conscious choice to be present, supportive, and committed to the relationship, even when it's not easy or exciting.
Exactly. It's about weathering those storms together, communicating openly and honestly, and working through conflicts in a way that deepens the connection.
That makes sense. It's like any relationship is going to have its ups and downs.
Right.
But true loyalty is about having your partner's back,
Yes.
even when you're frustrated or disagreeing.
And that's where the link to self-loyalty comes back into play.
Okay.
To be truly loyal in a romantic relationship, you need to be grounded in your own sense of self. You need to know your values, your boundaries,
Right.
what you need to feel fulfilled and happy.
That's a powerful point. It's like if you're constantly sacrificing your needs or trying to be someone you're not to please your partner,
Yeah.
that's not true loyalty.
Exactly.
It's a recipe for resentment and ultimately for the relationship to crumble.
Exactly.
True loyalty in a romantic relationship involves both partners being their authentic selves and supporting each other's growth and evolution.
Right.
It's about creating a space where both individuals can thrive both individually and as a couple.
That's such a beautiful vision of romantic loyalty.
It is.
It's not about clinging to each other out of fear or obligation.
Yeah.
It's about choosing to be together day after day because you genuinely value and cherish the connection.
It's about creating a shared journey where you both feel seen, heard, and supported to become the best versions of yourselves.
This has been such an eye-opening exploration of loyalty in all its forms.
It has.
It's so much deeper and more nuanced than I ever imagined.
It really is, and we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
I know, right? I'm already thinking about all the ways I can apply these insights to my own relationships and to my own life.
And that's what we'll dive into next.
Okay.
We'll explore some practical strategies for cultivating loyalty in all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
And we'll unpack that 4-H concept of a loyalty pledge.
Which is a powerful tool for putting these ideas into action.
I can't wait.
So stay tuned, listeners, because the best is yet to come.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been unpacking this whole idea of loyalty, and it's clear there's so much more to it than meets the eye.
It really is a multifaceted concept. And as we wrap up our deep dive today,
Okay.
I want to focus on one of the most intriguing aspects, how loyalty can become a source of strength and resilience in our lives.
I'll admit, sometimes being loyal can feel like a burden, like you're always putting someone else's needs before your own.
Right.
So how can loyalty actually make us stronger?
That's a great point, and the 4-H curriculum acknowledges those challenges. But what's fascinating is that it emphasizes how true loyalty, the kind rooted in our values and aligned with our authentic selves, ultimately empowers us.
Okay, I'm ready to be empowered, but how does that actually work?
Well, imagine this, you're facing a tough decision. Maybe there's pressure to do something that goes against your values when you're deeply loyal to those values. It's like having an inner compass that keeps you on course.
Okay.
You're less likely to be swayed by external pressures or temptations.
So it's like loyalty becomes this inner armor that protects us from making choices we'll later regret.
Exactly.
It gives us the strength to stand up for what we believe in, even when it's hard.
And that kind of inner strength is essential for navigating the inevitable ups and downs of life. It helps us bounce back from setbacks, overcome obstacles, and stay true to ourselves, even in the face of adversity.
You know, I've been thinking about those times when I felt like giving up on a goal or a project. What if it was actually a lack of loyalty?
No.
Not to the goal itself, but to the person I want to become
Right.
that was holding me back.
That's a profound insight, and it highlights how self-loyalty can be the fuel that keeps us going when things get tough. It's that commitment to our own growth and evolution that propels us forward.
This is making me see loyalty in a whole new light. It's not just about fulfilling obligations or pleasing others. It's about tapping into a source of inner strength that helps us become the best versions of ourselves.
Precisely, and here's something else the curriculum emphasizes, that loyalty isn't just about self-improvement.
Okay.
It can also inspire loyalty in others when we consistently show up as loyal and trustworthy individuals. It creates a ripple effect that strengthens relationships and builds a more positive community.
Wow, that's amazing. So by being loyal ourselves,
Yeah.
we can actually encourage others to be more loyal too.
It's like setting an example that others can follow.
Yeah.
Think about those people in your lives who you admire for their integrity and trustworthiness.
Yeah.
Chances are their loyalty inspires you to be more loyal in your own interactions.
I can definitely think of a few people like that their loyalty is contagious. It makes me want to be a better friend, partner, teammate, and human being.
And that's the beautiful thing about loyalty. It's not a finite resource. The more we give, the more we receive.
Okay, so we've established that loyalty is awesome, and we all need more of it in our lives. But let's get practical. This 4-H curriculum mentions something called a loyalty pledge.
Yes.
What is that exactly, and how can we use it to put all of these ideas into action?
The loyalty pledge is essentially a personal commitment to living a life of integrity and loyalty.
Okay.
It's about identifying the people, the values, and the goals that we're truly devoted to, and then creating a plan for how we're going to honor those commitments.
So it's more than just a vague intention.
Right.
It's about taking concrete steps to align our actions with our values.
Exactly. And the curriculum suggests making this pledge specific and actionable.
Okay.
For example, if one of your core values is honesty,
Mm.
your loyalty pledge might include a commitment to speaking your truth,
Right.
even when it's uncomfortable, and to being transparent in your dealings with others.
I love that. It's like creating a personal roadmap for loyalty. But what if we stumble? I mean, let's be real. None of us are perfect. What happens when we mess up and betray our own loyalty pledge?
That's where self-compassion comes in. The curriculum reminds us that loyalty isn't about perfection.
Yeah.
It's about progress.
Mm.
We're all going to make mistakes. The key is to learn from those mistakes, recommit to our pledge, and keep moving forward.
That's such a reassuring thought. It takes the pressure off. It's not about being flawlessly loyal all the time. It's about striving to make choices that reflect our deepest values, even when we fall short.
And that's the heart of the matter. Loyalty is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It's about constantly checking in with ourselves, evaluating our choices, and recommitting to the people and principles that matter most.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. It's completely shifted my perspective on what it means to be loyal. It's not just about blind allegiance or sticking with something out of obligation. It's about making conscious choices that reflect our deepest values and commitments.
And those choices have the power to transform not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. Loyalty can be a force for good, strengthening relationships, building communities, and inspiring us to become the best versions of ourselves.
So as we wrap up this episode, what's one final thought-provoking question we can leave our listeners with? Something to inspire them to keep exploring this idea of loyalty in their own lives.
How about this? Think about a time when you felt truly seen and supported by someone. What qualities did that person embody? How did their loyalty make you feel? Now, how can you cultivate those same qualities within yourself and offer that same level of loyalty to the people you care about?
That's a beautiful question. It's a reminder that loyalty is a gift we give not only to others, but also to ourselves.
Exactly. So listeners, keep exploring this idea of loyalty. Keep asking questions. Keep challenging yourself to show up with integrity and authenticity in all areas of your life. You might be surprised by the strength and resilience you discover along the way.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into loyalty. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.